Okay guys, we're going to try our best here. Please forgive the clothes in the background. I just have to spit this out real quick. Let's do this when we start videos. Okay, this is why I'm not TRISHA Paytas, but I need to make this for TRISHA Paytas because she's going crazy on the internet. And I feel like I need to get this out to her. Trisha, you're not going crazy. You are deeply, deeply disturbed by what Sean has done. And rightfully so. And anyone who's, you know, saying whatever, whatever, you know, I just want to say this to you. You're not stupid. You're not fat, you're not ugly unless you think you are. The reason that anybody doesn't want you has nothing to do with you. It has to do with what they want. Now that's hard to take in because it's like, well, I'm not what they want. What do I need to do? It's not how it works. And I know that that's confusing because when someone is everything you want, hold that thought. When someone is everything you want, then you have to wonder, well, why would God do this? Why would God send me this perfect person that I love and admire and want to be with, and they don't want to be with me? There. If they don't want to be with you, and you are number one, which I think is what you struggle with, then they're not the one. You know? I'm 41 years old. It's taken me a long time to get this, and you being in your 20s, I'm afraid you're going to have a long way to go before you get this, so I'm probably spinning my wheels, but I have to say this, and for any other girls that are listening, we put all our hopes and dreams in a guy instead of ourselves. You're already successful. You met him, you hired him for a video. That already tells you that you're more successful. Okay, he didn't hire you. So that already shows you the pecking order. Okay, but that doesn't matter, right? Because when you love someone, it doesn't matter who makes more money or who's more successful or whatever. I get that, okay. But you have to understand he already wasn't on your level. And I know this sounds really snobby and bougie, but that matters. Don't you think that it would affect his self-esteem that you're where you're at and he's where he's at and he's never going to quite measure up? But more than that, this gay thing, I guess that's what you're really upset about, is that you guys shared everything and he couldn't even tell you that he was gay. Well, I mean, is he really, or is he bi, or is he experimenting? Who knows? I mean, isn't he older? Wouldn't he know already if he was or not? I just feel like maybe it's becoming very socially acceptable to be gender fluid, that maybe he's like testing the waters or something, because I would think at 40 years old, hopefully you would know if you're bi or straight or something. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not the dictator of people, but I just, were there signs along the way? I mean, I do remember you recording butt plugs. But you know, that doesn't mean anything either, because some guys are really into anal, but that also makes me question what else they're really into, especially if they're kind of sadistic emotionally. So what I want to say to you, Trisha, is please don't be so shocked and hurt and just shocked by this. This guy ghosted you last year, and I remember those videos, and I think that you probably should have had all your guards up at that point. But again, I'm no one to judge, because I've been an idiot, and anybody else who wants to judge you really harshly, that it must be nice to sit behind her computer screen and talk shit when you know that you've done worse, or at least as worse as her. Like, don't be so judgy. But I do want to give you a lesson, and the lesson is, there's nothing wrong with you if someone doesn't want you completely the way you want them. Like complete monogamy, boyfriend, girlfriend, together all the time. You know, that's not for everybody, number one. And number two, don't really expect that blindly from a guy, especially in LA. But I think this is your cycle, and I think that you look for self-sabotage, you look for someone to hurt you, to validate the fact that you're a piece of shit. Trisha, your biggest problem is self-love. I mean, I'm sorry. That's your only problem. That's anybody's only problem, is you don't love yourself completely. You don't accept yourself completely. You're really good at acceptance. I mean, I have to say, I'm very honored by your, I'm very honored to watch your videos, and I love that you can be all the things that I can't be. But I would ask you to take a look at your eating habits that you seem to have so much love-hate with. I mean, they're the premise of your videos, but is that really healthy for you? And is it really healthy for you to show your tits on screen? Is that healthy for you? And I sometimes wonder, if you got healthy, what your career would be. Would you be like a producer? Would you be like a singer? Like, if you had to take your tits off the market and you had to start eating healthy, what would you become? What would you do? But it's a journey and a question worth asking, because I don't think that your habits are healthy, along with a lot of LA girls. I mean, hello, this is the city of angels. This is where people, the young girls from the Midwest, come, get eaten up, spit out, tell they're going to be actresses and turn into strippers and hookers. Has this happened to you? Trisha, I mean, you have to step back and think, where's my soul at? Right? And you're a very spiritual person, and you should know that you should never take a mere mortal as your gauge of, am I worthy, am I lovable? I mean, if you're religious or you're spiritual, then you know you're one of God's children, and that's enough. That's it. You need to love you as the person that God sees. Not people, and especially not YouTube, and especially not society. I mean, this is a very broken, soulless society, and LA is like, hello, the epicenter of soullessness, and it's always been known like that. Void of intellect, void of self-love, sell your soul just to be famous. I would ask you to check that. And you're just a really, really fun person, and you're a really beautiful person. I just wish that you would love yourself more. The eating stuff, it sickens me to my stomach sometimes, because, I'm a person who lost weight, I'm vegan, I'm healthy, and I'm not rubbing that in your face, but I am fucking living proof that, you don't have to be the way you've always been. I lost all my weight at 18, and I fluctuated a couple times, but I've kept it off. And there are scars that I'll never get rid of. But you have to make yourself a priority. And you have to make yourself a priority, and you have to take care of yourself. And I don't feel like you're taking care of yourself. Maybe the eating shows are all you eat that day, but I always think she's got to start liking vegetables. Like, that's just all there is to it, or you're just going to die of heart disease, which I guess you don't care about. But Trisha, you have so much to offer the world. You've done so much just for me. Take it one step further. And you know what? Go to your moms, go to your sisters, go somewhere, and don't be alone with your thoughts and the camera, and just keep posting videos, because Sean doesn't owe you an explanation. You may never hear from him again, and it's the most painful fucking thing in the world. But you're not going to get it like right then. I mean, you've made 100,000 videos about this. You've got to give him time. But I have to wonder, why do you want to talk to him at all? But I get it. I know why. I know why you do. I get it. So I'm not going to sit here and beat you up. Let other people make that video. That's not my video. My video just wants to bring you back to your spirituality and give you a breath and realize that this is a mere mortal man. And you may think you know someone, but I have to take you back to the fact that he ghosted you before. And you also have to understand that you're at risk of losing a lot of followers if you go back to him at this point. I recently had to ghost someone, cut them out of my life completely, change my number. And they didn't really fight to stay in touch. So ghost him and see how hard he fights to get you back in his life. And even then, he really can't come back in a real way, in a physical way. You know, you guys have a spiritual connection, and unfortunately the ego and life gets in the way, and it just has to be enough that you have a spiritual connection with him. You've got to let go, because he's toxic. Literally to your body, he's toxic. I've watched your eating shows go up about 80% in the past couple weeks. And I think that's because Sean has probably been a little more elusive lately, because he's probably transitioning into new people or new experiences, and you can't stop someone from doing that. And really, it's, at the end of the day, it's not your right to take that away from anybody. And I know that he should have been open and honest with you and communicated all this to you, but he didn't. Probably out of shame, probably out of embarrassment, probably out of, you know, risking losing you. It's hard to have compassion for someone that you feel betrayed by. But in this case, unlike my case, I do think he cared about you. And I do think he does. Maybe as just a soul sibling. Maybe just as a kindred spirit. But husband, boyfriend, man of your life, girl, you may never find that. It's an illusion sold to us by Hollywood and the church. If you don't want to get married and have kids, I wouldn't put all my eggs in a basket. That's just what I have found to be true. And you're magnificent. You're a great entertainer. You have so much more to give than eating shows. Your music is awesome, and you don't need him to make your music or your videos. You have everything you need in you. Stop looking outside of yourself. I don't expect this to help. I don't expect you to see this, but if you do see this, know that your value is not based on Sean. Even though you love him, and even though he feels like God on earth to you, and loved you and accepted you like no one else has, that's not true. I think that you have other people in your life that have done that. Just because he's giving you some orgasms, and you have to understand oxytocin. Every time you have sex with someone, oxytocin goes off and makes a bonding agent. He doesn't release that when he comes, okay? That's another thing you need to realize as a woman. Keep that oxytocin from going off, and that happens during sex. So you might want to rethink sex too, because it's not just a physical act. Oh, I'm a free woman, I can have sex. You're free until the oxytocin gets to a certain level. You don't want to be having sex with someone all the time, and you don't want to be releasing oxytocin, because you're going to bond, and guys don't release that. You have to understand that biologically we are in the loss. We're in the losing side of things. When there isn't a proclamation of I love you and I'm yours, a ring on a finger, even a ring on a finger doesn't mean anything. I just think that all of us women need to be a lot more careful with sex. And definitely. And if you're super sexual, then you're probably super dysfunctional, and it means you're going to be super hurt all the time. So I hope that any of this makes sense. Number one, let him go and be connected spiritually. Number two, he doesn't owe you an explanation. He could just ghost you again, and you have to make peace with that. You have to do your own closure. Go to your moms. Go to your sisters. Don't sit here making videos, Trisha. Nobody needs to see this, okay? Nobody wants to see this. This is not constructive to you. This is slow suicide, even if you never die, okay? And four, fuck him. Fuck him. I mean, it's a dude. I mean, fuck him. Don't, fuck him. Love him, but fuck him. You know what I mean? There's so much more I want to say, and it just won't, you know. I think I got it all out. But don't expect men to be like us. Just don't. That's the biggest misconception, and that's what they try to convince you as. I'm sensitive, I'm emotional, I'm lonely. Don't believe any of that shit. Just don't. Whether it's true or not, it's safer to believe that it's not true, and it's safer to believe that he's got about 15 on the side. I don't care if he sees you all the time. Like, just don't believe it, honey. I feel so bad for you right now, because I know that feeling. And I always reach out to people, and you say you are too, but, you know, people are shit. They really are shit, Trisha. And they know that the more that they try to comfort you, the more you're going to spin out of control. And you know, people really can't help you with things like this until you calm down. So I would say to get out of the house and go to your mom's. I mean, you make videos all the time with your mom and sister. I mean, that's more than I have. Use them right now. I mean, I love you. I love you, and I want you to love yourself, because that's what's missing here. Okay, you probably won't see this, but I had to make it. Bye.